This is PlayerProps.ai. This for winners research. We run it up with every betting tool you know in each perk. Travis tested waters, help you swim even the feet first. Now strategies and all you need to help you PlayerProps.ai. This for winners research. We run it up with every betting tool you know in each perk. Travis tested waters, help you swim even the feet first. Now strategies and all you need to help you.
Hey guys, it's me, Travis with PlayerProps.ai. This is it. We made it. We are on the final game of the 2025 college football season, the college football playoff final. Not to be confused with what people think it is, which is called the national championship. This is the college football playoff final. Now, before we get into the Miami versus Indiana, where Miami is extremely lucky having a home game, very rarely do championship making teams or final making teams, rarely do they get to play in their own home stadium. So it's just very interesting how that worked out. But yeah, to give you some insight, if you will, on college football, there's no national championship game. Before they did the playoff, before even it was a small playoff, it was the BCS championship. It was the college football playoff final, and then they expanded it, but they still call it's the college football playoff final. Now with March Madness, with college basketball, they do call the final the national championship game. But when college football, it's a little different. There's like a set of list of things that have to happen for you to be awarded the national championship. So if you look at like all past history when it comes to college football, teams are awarded the national championship. It is a prestigious title, if you will, for doing one of many different things. Now, how that works in a nutshell is there's like a bunch of metrics. So I don't know if you remember pre the playoffs, when it was just the BCS. So there's all these mathematical formulas that will determine what are the two top teams on the BCS rankings, and then those two top teams always get to verse each other, and that determined who won the BCS championship. And then because they were all using those rankings, that was more often than not, that team was awarded the national championship. But we saw there's been a lot of times throughout history, and not a lot of people that pay attention to college football realize this, but if you look back at the history books, just go from like the 1900 to now, there are an insane amount of seasons where there have been multiple teams being awarded the national championship. I think since 2000, it's only happened twice. I think I didn't pull up the record book on screen, but I probably should have. But I think it's happened in 2000 and in 2001. You know what? I have to bring this up now. Give me a sec. All right. So I pulled up the NCAA record book because I was trying to remember all of the different scenarios. So there are a bunch of different things. So I know this is small font because I have this pulled up on the phone screen, but there's the BCS ranking, there's the USA Today ranking, the AP ranking, the whatever the FW stands for here, the NFF, and then there's also the New York Times and the Colley Matrix. So when it was just BCS, they were using all of these things essentially to fuel these rankings to determine what are the top two teams, put them in this BCS championship game. But when they moved over to the playoff, even actually in the BCS side of things, if at the end of the season, if whoever won the BCS Bowl or the BCS championship, if there's somebody else that finished first in any of these rankings, they were awarded the national championship. So college football is very weird. It would make more sense to do this massive Division I March Madness style thing, which maybe they're going to get to that, who knows. But so I just pulled up the most recent one. So the last one here, where there was two different ones, was 2017. So Alabama, it won the college football playoff, because again, this is not called the national championship game. It's called the college football playoff final. They won that, which got them first on that leaderboard. They were first on the AP poll, first on that FWNFF, I'm not football world. I don't even know what that stands for. First on USA Today, but then UCF also was awarded the national championship because they were first on the Colley, it's called the Colley Matrix. Before that, Clemson won the college football playoff final, was first in all of these, but Alabama was on the Colley Matrix, so they were awarded the national championship. 2015, Alabama had all of it, 2014, just Ohio State, just Florida State. In 2012, Notre Dame was first on the Colley Matrix, so they were awarded that as well. And so, like, this goes back for hundreds, well, I guess, yeah, technically hundreds of years now, where I think there's one where it was like Ohio State wins in 2002. They won the BCS, but then USC was first on the Dunkel, the Matthews, and the Sagarin. I don't even know what these things are, but if you're first on these at the end of the season after all games are played, you get awarded the national championship title. So the last time it happened was 2017, which was 9 years ago, when UCF beat Auburn in the Peach Bowl. And after all is said and done, because they did not lose a single game in the entire season, and because Alabama lost a handful of games, UCF was above Alabama on the Colley Matrix, which is why UCF got awarded the national championship title. So college football is weird. I just wanted to kind of go over that. But this is the college football playoff final, and I'm pretty positive, because Indiana hasn't dropped a game this season, that if they win on Monday, that they will have first in all of these different rating systems. So they're going to be the only team that's going to be awarded the national championship for Division I. So we're going to go through everything possible with this game. This is not just a normal play of the day where you focus on one thing. We're going to go through all the nooks and crannies, so you know everything that makes sense, everything that doesn't make sense with this game. Now, you might be asking yourself, well, Travis, you're a huge Miami Dolphins fan. You're wearing a Miami Dolphins hat. You have a Miami Dolphins shirt with the Miami Dolphins hoodie over it. Clearly, you're a Miami Hurricanes fan. And the answer is no, my friend. Growing up, I've pretty much always been in Central Florida, but growing up, I was actually an FSU fan up until the time that I had to start paying UCF to go to school. So I'm like, if I'm paying you, I'm going to be rooting for you. So then I dropped any kind of outside UCF thing, and that's what I've been ever since. And I have never been a fan of Miami football. A lot of their fans are similar to UF fans in the University of Florida Gators on the other side of Florida, and they're just most of their fans are annoying. I got a lot of good friends that are fans and even alumni of Miami, but I don't know. They drive me crazy sometimes. But the reason why I'm wearing all this Miami stuff is because, outside of any personal bias of me being a Miami fan, a Miami Hurricanes fan, which I am not at all, I am in a national industry contest, a football futures contest. I've mentioned this on a few different episodes, that if Miami wins this game on Monday, I win the entire contest. And I'll really quick, there's 14 or 16 teams, and it's just like a regular fantasy draft where one person picks something, and once they pick something, you can't pick it. And it just goes the snake draft where it goes 1 to 12, 12 to 1, however many teams are in here. And my second round pick was Miami to win the national championship. First round pick was Detroit Lions win the Super Bowl. That didn't work out too well, but I have two picks that are still alive. I have Miami championship, and I have Houston Texans Super Bowl. Either one of those two win, I win this entire nationwide industry contest. But I would like just to get it over with on Monday. So that's why I'm wearing the Miami stuff, to give them the good juju to go against what our AI is saying, which we'll go into now. So the reason why I have FanDuel highlighted up top here is because FanDuel offers more things for this game than DraftKings does right now. So we'll use them because they have more things available. But right now on FanDuel, the money line is Indiana minus 350. And again, if you don't know what minus 350 means, it means that Indiana has a 77.78% implied chance to win. These sports books are like, Indiana is going to win, and it shouldn't be close. 77.78% implied chance. Now, what is the AI saying in PlayerProps.ai? It's saying that, well, yeah, Indiana's probably going to win this game, but it should not be as high as 77, almost 78. It should only be 67%, which is why we get this red minus 10.78% number here. That says that the sports books overpredict, overvalue Indiana by 10.78%. So it doesn't mean that Miami's going to win. It doesn't mean that Indiana's going to lose. It just means that if you bet on minus 350, which you shouldn't do anyway, by the way, you should never bet on minus 350. You're not getting enough profit to be worth the risking your money. So that's something else that we teach you in the other videos, but never, even if this was green and it was like Indiana had a 80% chance to win and this was a green number, we still don't bet on minus 350. This is just what we reference to see, okay, both the books and the AI lean towards Indiana winning, but the AI is saying they're slightly overvalued. The money line should not be as high as what it is. So let's go over to our next tool for the college football playoff final. Next one up is the spread predictor, which nope, that's not what we're seeing there. Let's go back to Monday's game. There we go. Now, 99 times out of 100, when you see a team having a red money line on the money line predictor, the opponent's spread is what is going to be favored. As of right now on DraftKings and FanDuel, they both have Miami with a plus 8.5 spread, which means Indiana's favored to win by more than 8.5 points. But because they're saying that Indiana is a little bit overvalued, minus, what was the overvalued by 10%, that it likes Miami covering the spread. It doesn't like Miami winning because, again, it still gives Indiana a 67% win chance. But it's saying, hey, Miami should not be destroyed in this game. So Miami should keep it close, definitely within a touchdown. So the Miami plus 8.5 is what it's leaning to. So we're not going to be betting on money lines, but if you want to do a team bet because you're in a state that has banned college player props for football and basketball and whatever sports, and quick segue, if you don't know why your state banned it, it's because you have psycho friends that think it's funny to DM 18-year-old athletes and threaten them because they got only 21 points instead of 20 points in their last basketball game last night. So if you are a psychopath like that, or you're in a group of friends that think it's funny to threaten and DM and take screenshots of DMing 18-year-old athletes and then sending it to the group text being, ha ha ha, I sure told him, guess what? You can't bet on the playoffs for player props because those friends are idiots. And they have ruined college football betting for most of the entire country because there's a lot of states that's banned it. So next time you get a screenshot from your friend that's DMing an athlete, whether they're pro or amateur or college, maybe you should ban them from your social circle because they have ruined the sport for you. But for those, everybody can bet on team stuff. So that being said, Miami plus 8.5 is the first thing that the AI actually likes. It doesn't like either the money lines. That's what the red minus 10% means. So let's look at the total here real quick. Do we have team total as well? We do. Perfect. Right now on FanDuel at least, let's check DraftKings real quick. Both sites have, FanDuel and DraftKings have this game, I didn't mean to click that, at a 47.5 total. So the total score of both these teams combined is going to be 47.5. Our AI says, I actually think it's going to be a little bit higher scoring than that. 51.21, which is a 3.71 difference. That's the difference between what the AI is saying and what the line is. 3.71 is the difference here. So the AI is saying, you might want to go over on this. If the game's going to be a lot closer than what the sportsbooks are suggesting, which is why they're saying Miami plus 8.5, then it's probably not going to be a defensive onslaught where it's going to be like a 10-7 game. If Miami's going to keep up, or Miami's going to overtake in general Indiana and actually win, which is the good juju that I'm trying to put out there, then the game's probably going to go over. So it likes 8.5 on the Miami side. 3.71 is, I would say 3 points for football is a decent difference. So if you're wondering what does the difference need to be for being over-under play, I would say for football sports, college football and NFL, 3 points is pretty good. So we're at 3.71. So it likes the over for that. Then we go to the team total predictor. And this is why it's 3 points on the over. It's not saying that Indiana's going to score more points than what the line is, because the line is 27.5. The projection's only 28. So the AI is saying what the sportsbooks are offering for the over-under on how many Indiana points will be scored, it's pretty close. But where the difference changes is it's saying that Miami's only going to, the over-under is 19.1, and the AI's like, we actually have them scoring 23 here. So this is where the plus 8.5 comes in. And it's very important to pay attention to if you're doing spread betting, pay attention to the team total predictor because it paints the picture. Why? So if your question is, okay, Why does Miami plus 8.5? Why does AI say that is what it favors of both of the spread sides? Well, look at here. It has Miami scoring 23 and Indiana scoring 28. What's 28 minus 23? That's 5 points. That's why it likes the plus 8.5, because the actual predicted score of each team from the AI is only 5 points. So they're saying that Miami is going to lose by 5 points. That's what the projection's saying. So if you're going to be doing a total bet, whether it's team total or game total, doing a team total one where it's a 3.71 difference, or a game total of 3.71 difference here, or a team total one where it's got 3.5, I think it's probably safer to do Miami over 19.5 than it is to do the game over total, because you're betting over when Indiana's not really projected to go over their line. 27.5 is essentially the same thing as 28. So with the game total, you kind of need both teams to show up. With the team total, Miami can score 20 points exactly, and Indiana can score 0, and the over 19.5 will still hit. But if Miami scores 20 here and Indiana scores 0, this will not hit. So I would say there's no bet on the money line. For the spread, it's Miami plus 8.5 because they have Miami losing by 5. And for the total predictor, I would not do the game one. I would do Miami over 19.5. I don't see a scenario where Miami doesn't score like 3 touchdowns, which is 21 points, unless they miss all their extra points, which is not going to happen. I just actually pulled up the weather. So why am I wearing a hoodie? Well, first off, it's a Miami Dolphins hoodie again, giving good juju. But 3 hours ago, it was like 35 degrees outside. And for Florida, that is crazy. That's where like all the plants in the yards, they just die from frostbite. So I was like, I wonder if it's going to be extremely cold in this game. And that's not necessarily the case. It's going to be, I think the lows for Miami for Monday is like 58 and the high 68. So it's going to be good football weather. It's not going to be crazy chilly or rainy or anything like that. So I don't think we have to worry about the weather. So from the spread side, Miami plus 8.5. From the total side, the only thing that would make sense would be Miami over 19.5, unless you can get it cheaper. Whoop, perfect. DraftKings over 18.5. See if anybody has it less. Looks like DraftKings has the best number at over 18.5. Boom. You want to get the lowest line possible if you're doing overs. You want to get the highest line possible if you're doing unders. Since we're going over, lowest line wins. DraftKings 18.5. So those are the only team things we're looking at right now. So for the people that don't live in states that are banned for college player prop betting because their psycho friends did not take screenshots threatening 18-year-old athletes, let's check the player props for this game. I am going to switch to FanDuel because, again, I mentioned that FanDuel has a lot more props than DraftKings. DraftKings, they clutch their pearls when it comes to college sports. They don't like losing money, and because they don't have enough data and their AI sucks, they're like, oh, we can't do this. There's a lot of baby lines here. So let's just get rid of the baby lines. Do 39. So there are 5 receiver options. I think they're all receivers, right? Yeah. 5 receivers in this game have a line of 40 or higher. And they're not going to show trifecta because what FanDuel, which is what we selected for here, right? FanDuel also clutches their pearls when it comes to college sports. So very often they're going to have over under minus 114 because you guys know what a trifecta is. And if you don't, you can click on trifecta and it'll tell you. But trifecta requires 3 things to happen, which is where the word trifecta comes from. The line is high enough, the difference is high enough, and the sports books favor the same side the AI does. So the line is high enough, the difference is high enough, but because it's minus 114, that's why these aren't triggered here. But it seems that every single option out of these 5 are, if FanDuel wasn't minus 114 each side, that all of these would be trifectas. So if it was like even minus 115, all 5 would be trifectas. So let's look into these more. So I'm looking at all the other numbers. This guy is going to be your favorite person to watch. If you haven't watched any college football, number 10, freshman. He was just awarded Freshman of the Year, I think across all college sports or all college football. Malachi Toney. This is a guy that they're going to be peppering non-stop. He got 81 yards. They put him in like receiving stuff. They do rushing stuff with him. This guy's an athlete. And I think because he's a freshman, he can't go straight to the NFL draft, but he's definitely going to be pretty good. The only thing that I'm kind of concerned about is he seems like he's very hot and cold here. But again, this being the biggest game of the season, he's going to be begging for the rock. Pass me the ball, coach. And again, if this was minus 115, everything else would be a trifecta. So this is a player where looks like his line was down to 59.5 and it hopped up 2 points. Maybe it's lower on other sports books. See, DraftKings sucks. It only has receptions. 61.5 BetMGM. Ooh, Hard Rock's got him at 57.5. And that makes him a trifecta because they favor the over. Okay. I think I like this. 57.5 on Hard Rock. Me likey. So there's one. Let's keep Hard Rock highlighted here. Maybe they have the other. Do they have other trifectas? Nope, just that one. Okay, so we'll go back to FanDuel here. Let me see. So Malachi Toney, 57.5, I believe, was the Hard Rock line. And so what we're doing here is we're doing game script. So even though I'm giving all the juju from the Dolphins shirt, the Dolphins hoodie, the Dolphins hat, giving them the Miami juju for them to win so I can win this nationwide industry contest, this football futures draft bet contest. It's very unique, but it's fun. I'm not going to be picking things based on that. I'm picking things based on what the AI is telling us because I feel like the AI is right more than I am. So we're going to that's why I pay attention to the app. Take away all the bias. Do what the app says to do. And the app says that Indiana's going to win this game. And if Indiana's going to win this game, what are they doing in the fourth quarter? They're probably running the ball. What is Miami doing in the fourth quarter if they're losing this game? They're probably passing the ball. So focusing on Miami's passing game, I feel like is pretty important. Malachi Toney's probably number 1 at 57.5. I'm trying to see if I like any of these other ones. And I know... So let's look at the under here. Oh, maybe this will... I didn't have the under toggled when I was looking for other trifectas. Yeah, they're not. 59.5 for Elijah. What does FanDuel have? 56.5. So Hard Rock has a higher line here for the under. Oh, it's because the over is minus 115 and the under is minus 110. That's why it's not a trifecta, because the Hard Rock slightly favors the over on this game. This is college football is so weird, man. This guy goes for 92, 132, 121, 70, and then next game, 4 games, nothing. And then, of course, in the Oregon game to get himself to the college football playoff final, 75 yards. I don't think we have to force an Indiana passing attack option. So let's look using game script at what rushing yards are telling us. Go to the over. Okay, so there are 3 players with a line of 40 or higher, which is the filter we still have from receiving yards. 1 Miami, 2 Indiana. it looks like they're pretty even too. A 62.5 line and a 59.5. So it means essentially they are going to be getting equal attention. There is a lot less difference, 7.5 here than the 15 here. There's also a much better accuracy, 50% to the 35%. So I think we can rule out Kalen Black just based on difference in accuracy and focus on Roman Hemby. Okay, so I know I said I don't like players that are hot and cold, right? But what's important to note here is all of his reds are not horrible misses, starting from this game anyway. So he's getting 55, 58, 52, 53. And in this game, he's at 62.5. Well, on FanDuel anyway. 62.5 DraftKings, 62.5 BetMGM, 61.5. So Hard Rock again has the better line. So he's getting enough attention where he's getting at least 55-ish yards. So they beat up Oregon and he only got 53. And his line's been all over the place. Down to 59, 59, 62, 61. We had 11 yards difference here. And this goes along with the game script as well. Let me look at this other guy that we... So this is interesting. So he's hit this 59.5 line 100% of the last 4 games. So what I want to do here is on my phone, so I don't have to pull up a million things on screen at the same time, is I'm going to go to... So the last game they played was... Indiana played was Oregon, Friday the 9th. Hemby, which was the first guy we looked at, had 17 carries for 53 yards. Kalen Black, this guy, had only 12 carries, 5 less, but he had 63 yards. His longest run was 23. He scored 2 touchdowns in the game. So this guy averaged 5.3 yards a carry, and Hemby averaged 3.1, even though he had less carries. So then, let's go to the other Indiana game where they versed Alabama, and they destroyed Alabama and embarrassed them. Very bad, 38-3. Alabama fans, you should be worried. Now, and against Alabama, this guy here had 3 less carries than Hemby, but he had 10 more yards, and his average was 6.6, and then Hemby's was 4.9. They both had a rush of at least 21 yards or longer. He was 1 away from getting 100 here. And then the only other game... So let me go to I'm going to do one more before the playoffs started. What was their last game? Oh, the Big Ten Championship where they beat Ohio State, which was number 1 at the time. Hemby, this is the game where Hemby had less rushing attempts. So Hemby only had 13. Black here had 16. Kalen Black had 4.3 yards per carry. Hemby only had 4.0. Black had a long rush of 37 yards. So that's 3 games we've now gone back where Kalen Black here has had a higher yard per carry and a higher longest rush than his counterpart. We can't count the Purdue game where Indiana won 56-3 because I'm only looking at these close games because this game's going to be a close game. So Indiana beat Penn State by 3. So let me look at that game. They both had 12 carries each. Black only had 2.7 yard average, got a touchdown. Hemby had 4.6. So it seems that the trend, which we see here, is not Black getting more carries because he's not. It's that he's doing more with the carries he's getting than the other player. He's beating him in yards per carry and longest rush. And he also has a line that's smaller than the other player's line. 59.5, 60, 60, 60. So was it FanDuel has the lowest one. Okay. what I'm thinking is, and this is just a narrative. You cannot listen to this part if you don't want to. But if you're winning the national championship and it is the last game of a senior's career in college football, would you A, give it to the player who has no more college games left in his career, or the player that's younger? I think it would be the older player. So we need to see if there's a difference in... Okay, so Kalon Black, this player is a senior. Hemby, oh, they're both seniors. Well, scratch that. They're both seniors. So they're both going to be playing their last collegiate game in their life. And unless they get drafted to the NFL or the new UFL, they're not going to be playing any more football. But, I mean, if they shine in this game, who knows? They can get drafted. Kalon Black, 5'10", Roman Hemby, 6 feet. They're pretty much like the same weight and everything too. So I was trying to see if they're a thunder and lightning like David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs. Man, I'm not sure what to do here with the running backs. The AI is telling us that Hemby has a better shot to eclipse his line than Black because it gives a projection that's 10 yards higher. Wait, didn't we have... What was the lowest line we had for him? 62, 62, 61, 62. So his lowest line is 61. Okay. So... the AI is saying that Hemby has a better chance because the lowest line, 61, is 11 yards under 72. So he's got 11-yard difference. Then we go to Black, who seems to be better at yards per carry. The AI is like, he probably will go over, but the difference is, what, 4.5 yards there? And 59 was his lowest one, right? Yeah. So do we want to bet on the player that has the bigger gap, the bigger edge, and the better accuracy, 50% through 14 games? Or the player with the lower edge, the lower accuracy, but the better recency, 80% last 5, 70% last 10, 67% of the season, 40, 50, 60. So, man, it's these last 5 that I'm kind of trying to figure out here. I think the consistency with him getting at least 52 yards or more in 8 straight games here, I think we're going to go with the Hard Rock? 61.5. I think we're gonna focus on consistency because the other guy was like up here, down, up here, but this guy has consistently got 52. And to get 61, he needs like one more carry for 9 yards, or just one more carry or whatever it may be. But they're gonna try to make sure that Miami doesn't win this game, so they want to run the ball out in the fourth quarter if they're up. So I feel like they're definitely gonna pay attention to the run game. And we know from looking up on my phone all of the most recent past games, Hemby is getting more carries than Black. He's been more consistent on hitting 52 or higher in 8 straight, and he's getting more carries. And his line's not that different. And his accuracy is better. And his edge is better. So I think this is our rushing play. Hemby 61.5. If you can find it lower anywhere else, just let everybody know in Discord, but that's what it looks like right now, 61. And we got a receiving yards, that goes with game script. We got a rushing yards that goes with game script. I'm just gonna look at passing yards real quick. I don't think we're gonna do anything here. Do not bet on Carson Beck passing yards. He has the lowest, so he's got his team to the college football playoff final. But he has the lowest yards per game out of like any, and this is not an exaggeration. I'm pretty sure this is fact. I'm pretty sure I heard about this in the last game they played against Ole Miss. He has the lowest pass yards per game out of all Division I starters. because they don't focus on the passing game as much as other teams do, because their running backs are good, and he's been pretty good at. He's the Tom Brady, if you will. Tom Brady was not known for throwing for 6 million yards every single game. He was known for game management and getting his players in the right position to make plays and getting touchdowns, and that's what Carson Beck is. So, no passing yards ones. We don't like either of those. So I think those 4 things make the most sense for the college football playoff final. The spread we talked about, the team total we talked about, the receiver we talked about. That's actually a trifecta on certain, depending on the odds of certain apps. And then the running back, that all 4 of those go with the same game script. Now, this is not a, hey, psychopath that doesn't listen to anything that I tell you ever and just throws everything in a parlay and calls it a day. And if one misses, then you're like, why is everybody else celebrating they made profit and I didn't make any profit? Because you keep ignoring the words that come out of my mouth. Stop it. Losing is your fault. We try to help you, but you have to listen to us. Now, do not only put all 4 of these in a parlay. Follow the 20-80-20 rule. 80% safer picks, 1 to 2 picks, 20%, 3 to 6, which these 4 figure into that. So you can do the 20% if you want to, but you have to first do the 80% ones. And that's really only for the players that live in states that haven't banned college football or college props because your friends are psycho crazies. But yeah, that, ladies and gentlemen, is what we have for the college football playoff final. Again, I don't really have a dog in the fight in terms of like my team, but I would really like Miami to upset Indiana because that will give me another gold championship ring. So those industry things that I keep talking about. So I won I won the golf one, I won the football one this year, but these are what they look like in a nutshell. So it's like, I get these little gold rings. I get like a little plaque stand for it. I get another one of those if Miami wins this. So that's why I really want Miami to win. Am I a fan of Miami football? Just for Monday. But yeah, any questions whatsoever, if you have a free account, there's a CFB channel in Discord that is 100% free to access. If you have upgraded your account to full access, then you want to look at CFB VIP. It's got a little diamond in front of it. But yeah, we'll keep talking about the game there. Good luck, and yeah, we'll see if Miami can pull it off. Good luck, guys.